Welcome everyone. Today we are going to cover my top 3 reasons why I'm into Stellar. I have done over 500 videos spanning over a year and a half regarding the Stellar ecosystem, and I've narrowed them down to, yes, my top 3 things that makes me into Stellar. So let's go screen and explore the news. All right, and here we go. Creating equitable access to the global financial system. Stellar's mission, everyone. Yes, and as always, any article you see in this video will be linked in the description below. I want you to think of a cash-based society versus a non-cash-based society and the impact it has on people and business. Now, I've got a visual up on the screen right here. Look at this. In blue, we have cash-based transactions, and in orange, we have non-cash-based transactions. The majority of the developing world has digital forms of currency. Think of debit cards, wire transfers, and so forth, right? Think of now cash-based societies. What if you were a business in a cash-based society? Would you be able to sell outside of your city, country, borders? No, you can't, because you're reliant upon cash, right? Now imagine a tech business in the United States. You could sell to anyone in the world because you would be able to accept what? PayPal, credit cards, debit cards. Yes, exactly. So these cash-based societies are often left behind when it comes to the business development world. But now let's tie this into a personal thing. Let's say something happened to either you or I, right? A financial constraint. What could we do? We could tap into our credit cards, right? We could take a home equity line of credit. There's a whole bunch of things we could do having these digitalized forms of payment, of money, right? So now these places here, they don't have that. So when problems arise, they just have to arise on their cash system, and their cash system is often behind. Now, imagine if you are a company out there in Africa, okay? You're a company and you're like, you know what? We want to hire people in a tech job. Well, I'll be honest with you. Tech jobs, you don't need to live where the company is. No, you can work remotely, everyone. But since they're cash-based societies, how would they pay those workers? Well, luckily for some of these countries, Stellar is helping them out with that. But that's my point. These cash-based societies are often left behind, and they don't have the advantages and opportunities that we have. To give you a better idea of cash versus non-cash, let's take a look at the map I got up on the screen. You could see the majority of these developing countries rely heavily upon cash. Look at that. Eastern Europe and Africa, 99 and 93%. Asia, Pacific Emerging, 98%. Latin America, 91%. These are all cash-dominant societies. How can these businesses grow? How can these technologies grow without the advancement of their payment system? Neiman Stellar Development Foundation partnered to enable payouts in 190 countries, right? Shrinking the gap between non-cash and cash-based societies, right? The opportunities available. Well, wait a minute. What about USDC? And now more specifically, multi-chain USDC, because here, yes, you could see Stellar USDC, but you also have Ethereum, Algorand, Solana, Tron, Hedera, Avalanche, Flow, and Polygon. These are also going to be interoperable with each other. Yes, the network is going to get bigger and bigger, and is going to be connected with this USDC partnership. So my second reason why I'm so into Stellar is the partnerships that Stellar has. And this is going to lead us into the big daddy of them all. One integration, cash access, MoneyGram, and Stellar. Now, why is this so important? I want you to think about remittances, and I want you to think about brick and mortar as I go through this, okay? And for those of you that don't know, remittances are pretty simple. Imagine all the people that live outside of their country and send money back home to their country. We see a huge amount of that from the United States to Mexico, United States to India, Canada to Mexico, Canada to Africa. A whole bunch of residents of those countries, they don't have employment opportunities in their own country, so what do? They leave their country, they work in one of the developing ones, and they send money back home to their family and loved ones, all right? Remittances account for a massive percentage of the GDPs of these developing countries. Now, with MoneyGram and Stellar, with the whole cash access program, guess what they can do? They can send this money back home to their family and loved ones for way less. The fees are going to be way less, and it is going to be near instantaneous settlement. You know all those MoneyGram locations that there are all over the world that are currently used right now for remittances? People are already familiar with that system. And now all they have to do is become familiar with the new way of sending money by using Stellar Cash Access. What's interesting to see here is that more money will be going to the end user. More money will be going to people rather than fees. Now, a lot of these fees are eaten up by, yes, some risky banking practices. And I don't mean risky in a negative way, but think about this. When money is sent right now, it is not instantaneous, which means these banks have to pre-fund or float the money, which means they are at some risk of something going wrong. wrong. But with this USDC MoneyGram Stellar integration, the near instantaneous settlement will allow for safer transaction of money, which means you won't have to pre-fund, and the user and the financial institution will get their money at the same time, which means less risk involved, which means more people and places will be willing to do business like this. Now, I got to be honest with you, I could have gone on and made a top 20 list, but I bet you guys would have been tired by the time I got to number 15. I just took my top 3 things right now that I think are making Stellar above and beyond better than anything else that I've seen out there. And the biggest one is helping the unbanked and underbanked, and the percentage of people across the globe that have been ignored by the financial institutions will not be ignored by Stellar anymore. So comment below and let me know what your top 3 programs are with Stellar and why you're so into Stellar Lumens XLM.